What's up, guys? Voice of Flex, B Green Flex, back again with another video, course reaction video. This one's gonna be a little bit longer because it has been a little while since I uploaded, but you know what? We're gonna keep it short and concise. It's a fresh and fit clip. I meant the intro short and concise. Fresh and fit clip. Like I said, back again with another one. This one definitely hits home, especially growing up with women and having a lot of women in my life, as far as like just from a platonic standpoint. So this one definitely I thought was really important, and even had a couple buddies on the Discord call earlier, and I was like giving them some random titles, and they were like, "Oh, that's probably a good one." So, without further ado, why men should never be a woman's best friend. Also, of course, before we get started, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Comment down below if you agree or disagree, and hope everyone is staying blessed and had a great Happy New Year's and holiday. I did not, but we'll talk about that another time.
And actually, guys, just so you know,
Quick questions here.
we went ahead and we got the girls' questions beforehand. Okay, as you guys know, whenever we start turning cameras on, girls get all, oh shit, I don't know what to say.
Also, if you haven't noticed, my upper hexagons are out. The hexagons themselves work, but the cord is broken. So, actually, you know what? Tomorrow I'll try and fuck with that. But if I can't figure it out, I'm just gonna order some new ones or see if I can find the cord itself on Amazon or something. But yeah, that kind of sucks.
So we made sure to have some of their stuff here. Don't worry, ladies, I'll read it. I won't say, if I see a name on here, I'm not going to say who the name is. If you want to go ahead and raise your hand and be like, that's my question, that's fine. But I'm not going to put you on blast and say this is your question. So I'll go ahead and read the first one right now. Take a break from chats real fast. Let's see here.
And if you want to, you can say it. We'll rotate if you want to bring it up.
Opinions on guy best friends.
Who wrote that?
Well, come on, man. They don't want to know. Yeah. All right, so opinion on guy best friends. Let's ask them first, and then see what they think, and then we'll give ours. All right, so what is your take on? We'll start here. Or actually, no, start here. What is your take on guy best friends? Possible or not possible?
I think it's possible if you guys have been like.
Before we hear her answer, I'm assume, even though assume he's not always the best. Everyone that's either watching this video or has watched my channel before would agree that it's not possible, or if it is, it's to not the extent that the women probably think it is. Like I said, I have some girls that are just friends, and actually have some girls that are considered best friends. But over the years, I've tried to separate the relationship as much as I could, or keep it at like a very very inconsistent level, I guess the term would be, where don't hang out with them as much, don't really talk to them as much. We catch up here and there. One of them specifically, oh, you're my brother or whatever. We were roommates for years and years and knew each other for years before that and stuff like that. So, there are some situations where I think it's possible to a certain degree, but like I said, even just with being more red pill aware, and just with the stuff that I'm learning more as I get older as a man and stuff, it's kind of, you get to a point where you're like, okay, for the sake of not only my relational health and mental health and whatever, just for the sake of the relationships you want to build in the future and what you want to do with your life, really is not a regular thing. I don't think it's a real thing. And to some extent, a lot of times, at least I know for me, and this is how most guys are, you're not even hanging out or associating with a woman unless she's attractive to some degree. She doesn't have to be freaking dime piece, but most of the time you're not hanging out with like ugly girls. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's a fine line, because at the same time, this same friend that I was speaking of before, I got plenty of girls through her. So I can't be mad about that. And definitely having girls around is social proof, like Mama always talks about. But as far as like having a girl that is considered your best friend, that you talk to every day or hang out with every day and all that kind of stuff, I think it's not necessarily the healthiest. And like I said, more than likely, you still do want to smash, whether you accept it or not. And that's kind of where you have to figure that out for yourself. But anyway.
Friends from like childhood. As adults, I don't really think that most men and women could be platonic friends without any type of attraction or like.
Yep.
So there's got to be a childhood.
Yeah,
Attached to it.
I think it has to be like childhood, like something from a while back. I don't
But otherwise, you don't think it's possible.
Best friends, no.
Okay. What about you?
Yep.
Um, that was my question.
Oh.
Most of my friends back home are men. I think it's possible to a degree.
See,
I
to
do
a degree.
think that sometimes there are feelings underneath.
You don't think you said to a degree? So do you?
See, I don't even think feelings would be the right word. I mean, sometimes, especially with a guy that is going to accept that role in a woman's life, usually he is more in touch with his feelings and stuff. So maybe feelings is the right word, but just generally speaking, most of the time, if a girl and a guy are friends, it's usually because either they worked together or currently work together. Either their group of friends has people that dated each other or whatever the case may be, so now they all are now groups of friends. So, like, for example, the chick that I was talking about before, she kind of dated like one of my best guy friends, and because of that, and he moved away, not too long after that, and because of that, like, we all kind of had a friend group and mutual friends and stuff like that. So because of that, we ended up staying cool even after he moved away, and had ended up being roommates and stuff, and it was never like that. We never hooked up or anything. Like I said, props to her, because I think just from her alone, I've probably had sex with like 5 or 6 chicks, like just through her some way, somehow, like either her friends or coworkers or something. So appreciate that. But in general, usually you only stay in contact with these people because because of mutual friends or because of attraction. Like a lot of times when you see a guy and a girl that's a friend, it's because they dated, broke up, and then still stayed friends. Or like I said, where these two people dated, but their mutual friends, became friends through that and stayed in contact, or situations like that. Or work. It's usually very rarely like, oh, if a guy comes up to you at a bar or whatever case may be, it's very rarely that he's just trying to be your friend. Usually it's because he's trying to smash. So if at that point you guys become friends, then that's where the issue is. And so, like the other girl was saying, how it's hard in adulthood to have girl and guys as best friends, because it's like, bro, like, you guys became friends, however the reason is, but like you wouldn't have stayed in contact unless you liked this person to some degree, physically, mentally, spiritually, whatever. So I don't know. It's kind of tough. It is really hard. But at the end of the day, like, if a guy and a girl are friends, 9 times out of 10, the guy is going to smash the chick if the opportunity presented itself. And I think that's the hardest pill for girls to swallow, is the fact that they think that the guy doesn't. And he does. Or he at least would.
You think all your guy best friends just want to be friends with you and not have sex?
I think the majority of them.
She knows the truth.
I think the majority of them are genuinely my friends.
Hey, one second, guys. I'm gonna turn my fan on. It's fucking hot as fuck.
So you're confident
no,
then, right?
not like that, huh?
You're confident though, right? That they're just your friends. You're confident?
2 of them.
We should do a test. We should play a game real quick. Let's call them on the phone and see if they're really your friends.
No.
Let's
Feel like
test
you wanna-
them.
Yeah, we should. Yeah.
No, I have one that will answer, and but he might act a fool though.
Let's do it.
Because
Let's do it.
Bring
All
up
right,
phone real
I
quick.
see.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and have her.
right now. Can you come by?
Yeah, so just go get with them, and they'll get you in the back, and they'll get you set up.
Oh, shit.
What to say and everything.
How to prepare it.
So we will go ahead and
Live
put
performance.
this to the test
Yeah.
about
Let's see if he's really
guy
your friend.
best friends. Okay, what about you, Miss Mandem? Opinion on guy best friends?
Remind them.
I will say I love that they do the phone thing, because every single time it fails. Like the guy fails, or there was one time where the guy didn't fail, but it was like the girl was like not really wording things the right way, not really, like, she was kind of just purposely saying bro or something, or purposely like kind of interjecting the conversation and steering in a certain way, instead of like kind of saying, oh, this is this, and like kind of letting the conversation flow. So I think that was the only time. And even then the dude was kind of like, you could kind of tell the dude was like, oh shit, like she wants me to smash, you know what I'm saying? Like you could tell that by the way he was talking, like he was like, she's trying to want me to smash, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, but most of the time, pretty much every single time they do this, it proves that they can't be friends. Because it's like, I know in my situation with any girls, shit, even the girl that I was just talking about, or any other chick that has been like a really close friend over the years, like if they were to hit me up, at fucking 2 a.m. and be like, hey, like, you just want to come fuck, like, I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's the thing for them. It's like always got to be feelings, and there's always got to be something more there. Or even, I know a lot of girls that do, like some of these girls that I have been friends with over the years that did just have guys that they hooked up with or whatever. But if they continue to do it, it usually became something. But either way, it's like they wouldn't. Even if the purpose of the relationship with that person was just to hook up, there's still something. It was like they went into it like that. It's very rare that it's like a guy that they're already friends with. You know what I'm saying? I.e. me, which is why I ended up cutting them people off. But just in general, like most men would do it. If a guy is your friend and you call him at 2 a.m. and say, "Hey, I'm kind of drunk and horny, and I really want you to just come fuck me," they'll do it. But the thing is, they're not going to do that because they understand the dynamic of the relationship would change after that on their side. Whereas for us, we don't give a fuck. Like, we could do that, see you the next day, boom, everything's cool. Which is rare because I think most guys that are in that situation probably would catch feelings. We're not going to dive down that deep rabbit hole, but just in general, I think a lot of guys that are in that friend zone and can't accept it on themselves or like move on and stuff, I think part of that is because they're not the type of guy that like, is more stronger mentally, more that alpha personality or whatever, which is why they're okay kind of being in that friend zone. So there's a whole another argument to that. But just in general, yes, the guy would fuck her.
I just don't think there can possibly be
Not
a
possible.
friendship like that between a male and a female. I feel like where it is eventually over time feelings grow, because it depends. Well, I don't know what to say. Honestly, I just feel like my point is just it just can't work. Like, it can't be possible because men and women are designed to fall in love with one another and designed to make love to one another. So it's just, it doesn't.
The first part,
it doesn't make
debatable.
sense for
Second
people
part,
to
yes.
stay friends. There has to be a connection between both of them.
Do you have
Like, they don't have to, they're not designed to fall in love with each other, but to make love, yes, they are. Like, men and women, when they are together physically, in the same presence, we are designed to mate. Like, so it's it's kind of by default. Like I was saying earlier, most guys, especially attractive guys that are friends with girls, like 9 times out of 10, that girl is not ugly. Same with a chick. If she's friends with a guy, even if there's nothing there, it's just strictly platonic. Most of the time, that guy is not ugly. It's usually a pretty good looking dude, and for the guys, a pretty good looking chick. It's just that the nature of the relationship didn't start out sexual, so because of that, it never progressed to anything sexual. But the guy would still do it.
You have guy friends now?
No, because I'm married.
Smart.
Hey, W.
Smart.
W.
What about you?
Okay.
I think it's
W.
because do guy and
She wasn't even listening, bro.
has guy friends.
That's a cheat code.
No.
That's different because
No.
okay.
Okay, I see what she did there.
Yeah,
She was thinking
Yeah.
about their
So-
German engineering, right?
No,
Let's assume they're heterosexual.
yeah, because
They have dick.
Yeah, but let's assume.
but
they're-
that's a girl.
Understand?
Yeah, let's assume,
Especially for me.
they're not gay. You think they could be friends?
I think yes. I think yes. I have friends. I have like 1 or 2 friends which I have like since 15 years. When I grew up, I learned them. But I think also if I would put like a lot of energy in our kind of relationship or in our kind of friendship, it would grow more. From my side, no, but from their side. That's like the point when
So you don't think if you call them right now, they wouldn't want to hook up with you?
no,
Let's be
Cap.
honest. You're
No.
after the club,
that is.
just you and him. You're both drunk.
That is.
You want-
Naked next to him.
Cap.
Never.
That's
Never,
big
never.
cap. That's
I would
denial.
not. I would not do it. I would not do
No,
it.
no, it's
but-
No, not about if you.
We're saying
He
you
wants to
would
do
want to do it.
Yeah.
It's not, I know you wouldn't. That's why it's in the
I
friend
slept-
zone.
Like when I was younger, I slept right next to my friends when we were all at a house party or whatever, and nothing happened. He don't even like touch
But that
me.
doesn't
or
that
whatever.
doesn't mean that they don't want to do it though.
Yeah.
But he didn't. He never did.
But that's
I want to.
You might want to. Yeah.
Yeah, what? But he did not. So
because you're.
That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, that doesn't
what
mean
you want?
See, this is where it gets confusing because it's like even if you were sleeping in the same bed or whatever, like full clothed, not clothed, whatever the case may be, he still wouldn't make a move because the nature of the relationship was not sexual, and he knows that you don't see him that way, so he's not gonna take the chance to do that because he's like, okay, if I make a move and she turns me down, then boom, now I'll never get the chance. But if I don't make a move, like I can still be friends with her and maybe have the chance. Like subconsciously, this is all going through his brain. Consciously, he's probably like, I'm not gonna fuck with it, but subconsciously, like this is all the things like running through his head. So it's like, yeah, you don't want to, and he knows that, so he's not even gonna try. But if you showed him something that opened the door, whether it be a text, a call, like sending him a picture, whatever, Snapchat, whatever the case may be, if you said, hey, I want you to come fuck me or whatever, like something like that, he's gonna do it. It's just that since there was no actual green light, he's not even gonna take the chance. And this is where it goes back to what I was saying before, where some guys are in that space where it's like, you know, but it also could be just be the guy, because I know, like I said, with the girls that I was friends with, a lot of them like helped me hook up with other chicks or whatever the case may be. But I also knew that like just in general, I'm not gonna just be hanging out with chicks all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like unless it's because I'm hooking up with them, or at least one of them, or it's because of like some kind of social event, like, you know. So it's just different all across the board. But she's, you know, pretty attractive. You know what I'm saying? She looks like she has a nice body, and I'm sure that they would do it.
You go on a first date, he doesn't try to kiss you right away, but
No.
second date tries.
Never.
All right, you know what? We got.
But girls don't understand this. She's like, oh, they didn't even try when we were sleeping in the same bed, whatever. It's like, well, yeah, because you were clothed, number one. But number two, it's because that may have been a few years after you guys were already friends, you know what I'm saying? So, like, at this point, he's conflicted. He's not going to know what to do. And he'd rather not even try than to take the chance and lose the chance that could happen.
I have her call him too.
Call him too.
All right, we're gonna have you call him as
But
well.
my problem is, okay, listen, my problem is it's Germany. It's like
What?
nice.
What? 6 hours ahead in Germany?
Yeah.
We're gonna try anyway.
He'll probably answer too.
You can.
Okay.
I'm
All right.
Come on WhatsApp.
Yeah, just go with them real quick. They'll set you up.
So listen,
So we're
man.
gonna have 2 girls call that think that is possible.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you?
Oh, yeah, they definitely would.
I feel like somebody always falls eventually. And I feel like a guy's not going to reject pussy. I'm so sorry. But I feel like if a guy can sleep with a female, he's going to take
Yep.
the opportunity. Especially if the girl's beautiful and she has an amazing personality and you've known her for a while. You're like, shit, why not? I know this person, you know?
So you don't think it's
But-
possible?
I think it's hard. You can have, I don't think best friends. You can be acquaintances,
Yeah.
by and by. But that everyday talking where you
Okay,
share
so
your
not
stuff,
possible.
it's very unlikely, I think.
That's fair.
Realistic.
Yeah, I agree with you because I feel like
Urge.
for me, because most of my friends are girls, because it's just the things that you do. Like, a guy's gonna go shopping with you. How are you gonna go thrifting together? Do your nails, you know?
Go what?
If he does that, he likes you.
Thrifting.
If he does that, he straight up likes you.
It's like, what is this?
Oh,
So when they go to
thrift
like
shops?
buy like clothes that are like really low value. Sorry, for example, cheaper price clothes, but they're really nice to sell for like resale or just to get really good deals.
Okay.
What's it called? Like Goodwill. Different sort of,
You know, now I think about it,
Yeah.
there's girls that like resell vintage clothing. That's what they do.
offer up.
They thrift.
The other one, yeah.
Okay.
Little side note, I actually think thrifting is pretty cool, fun, enjoyable, and also you can find a lot of cool stuff. I don't really do it much anymore, but I have a buddy that, you know, he makes some extra money on the side, or just like finds a lot of his like cool, you know, like Myra said, vintage or like name brand stuff that, you know, no one would ever find, but he got it for cheap, or even just found it in general. And his friend actually, like, his primary income is doing that. Like, they go to every weekend, they go to different places around where I live, but also like nearby, and then sometimes they'll also go like hours away, or to like a show, you know, like they'll fly to a show or whatever, and it's pretty cool. Like I said, you find a lot of cool old stuff. Like my buddy found like this old Louis Vuitton lighter thing, and then like, you know, he'll find like little like Pepsi things from way back. So you can definitely find some cool stuff, and you know, a lot of times get good deals on some name brand stuff just because the people are, you know, selling it, reselling it, didn't even know they had it, whatever the case may be. So just a little side note, if you wanted to make some extra money, or just had like an emptiness of like finding a hobby that you like clothes or shoes or whatever, could be something that you might like to do. And you also meet a lot of people too, networking wise. Like I said, they go to shows. Like, I live in North Carolina, so sometimes I go to shows like in Charlotte, or I keep saying shows, I don't know if that's the right term, but Charlotte or Raleigh, or, you know, they'll go down to South Carolina, different places there and stuff. So anyway,
So you don't think no, just because like interest don't align?
And also, I just feel like girls. You know, like
Okay, all right,
yeah.
that's fine.
Do
What about you?
I like her
Guy
eyes.
friends?
No.
Okay. All right, you, Miss Jamaica. What about you?
They're like
I think
grayish.
a woman can be friends with a guy just because we benefit the most from it.
Yep.
You know? But I don't think a man can be friends with a woman genuinely. just
Hey,
like
I'm glad she clarified that.
Okay. So all right. So you think the woman could obviously we agree that yeah. You can
Man, I
find
like the
someone-
chick beside
she
Byron
friends
too. I
with
like
him,
her
but
eyes as well.
He has ulterior motives.
The Asian chick, she had like gray, like light blue eyes. I don't know. It looked weird. Cool.
Wow.
And she even said that you get all the benefits.
She knows.
Yeah.
I've been trying to say. So I also think like it depends on like where you come from. Because I know in America they think everybody first is the king, but so sometimes that takes into account.
I think they're
Mm.
even more so not into having female.
Yep.
Nah,
I think it depends
I
on what
don't
she's
know,
saying though, because
yeah.
she's saying like different cultures. Like people.
But it's more
maybe
pronounced.
In America, like you're saying, they're more like straightforward, and other places they're more reserved. Is that what you're?
I think in America it's like more sex driven versus like let's say Europe. I think they could be more platonic versus.
You got somebody from Europe right there. She's saying it's cap too.
Listen, man, niggas are all the same. They could be Africa.
They move different.
If anything, I think it's the opposite of what she's saying. Yeah, America's sex driven, but that's just because you see the media here and you see the culture and environment here. But other places aren't necessarily quote unquote sex driven, but they're definitely, mating driven. So, like in Africa or Asia, or even certain parts of Eastern Europe, like these more not as well developed countries and stuff, it's more pronounced. Like a guy's not going to be a friend to a girl unless he's either fucking her, that girl has like his kids, or he sees some type of interest in that girl and he's pursuing her or something like that. It's very rare in those countries that like a dude is just going to be friends with a girl. It's only in the Western, like more first world civilizations where men and women are ever considered friends or can be friends because of how modernized everything is. But in these other places where it's not as super modern and stuff like that, or just where the culture hasn't caught up to the technology, because some places in Asia are more advanced than us. But, like in Japan, guys and girls aren't friends. It's probably only like newer generations over there that are like more liberal thinking and progressive thinking. But for the most part, the culture there is like, no, work and you have your family. Guys and girls are not friends. you might not even have friends in general. Like, so I think it's the opposite of what she's trying to say.
Antarctica,
Their
it don't matter.
mindset is different. Not to say that
Question
they
for
don't
you.
want sex, but it's just different.
You mentioned that a girl gets a lot of benefits from having a guy friend, but the guy doesn't really have to, and you don't have to give sex or anything else like that. If you were a man, would you let a girl friend zone you?
No,
You wouldn't.
no, I wouldn't waste my time.
Smart. She's Jamaican, by the way.
Yeah. No, I just always, because I've said that a million times. You're like the first girl to actually admit it, that like you get a lot of benefits from having guy friends.
It's a boyfriend.
yeah.
It's your boyfriend.
Yeah. But you don't have to fuck.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like a big W. Yeah, it's literally, you get all the attention that you want. You get the,
The emotional support.
So,
Yeah.
question: how many guy friends do you have?
So no one wants to be my friend.
I mean, yeah, she's 31.
That's real.
the niggas, they're her friend for a little bit, and then she catches on to what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
All right, what about you? What's your opinions on guy best friends?
I can't agree more with her.
Mike.
Period.
Yes, I think it's she's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did she say then?
We as girls, we can be friends with guys, but the guy will always be waiting for his chance.
Okay.
So if you offer it, he will immediately go for it.
It happened to you?
No.
So how you know?
Stop the gap.
Because because I've never given the option, but you can just tell that if given the option, he would take it and run with it.
Full send.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Ladies, welcome
So
back.
we had
got
them
these two
prepared
ladies
by
here.
the ladies. So we're gonna have the girls call their friends.
Yeah.
One of them is on German time, so he might or might not pick up.
Yeah.
But we'll try. And then we will have Miss Upstate New York, aka Kingston, call her guy right now. Icy already told her what to say and everything else like that. So
And please do not
yes.
break character and laugh.
yeah,
If you're gonna laugh, just be like this.
yeah. So everyone else on the panel, please be quiet. She's gonna take the phone, put on speaker right to the microphone, which Icy will show you.
It's going to be a long ass video. Already about to be 25 minutes in.
Channel. 20K watching right now.
Sorry, Ninjas.
Oh,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
I hate those other heck. I need to just fix the. You know what I'll do? I might see if the the box that those came in. I'll see if maybe they put extra cords in there or something. Because I didn't throw the boxes away. Because I remember there being something in there. But I don't know. I can't remember if it was extra cords or if they gave like a few extra hexagons. But like that was the max that it would actually illuminate. So maybe I'll check those after the video's done. But yeah, we're 25 minutes in, guys. Appreciate y'all for whoever is still watching or even catching this part of the video. Or even is on the channel at all. Thanks again. Make sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below your thoughts. And let's finish it out. We still got fucking 7 more minutes of the video to react to. So this is probably going to be like a 45-minute video. He's in New York. Or yeah, I think they said New York. So it's East Coast time, which is, you know, where they're in Miami. So. But this is an after-hour show, so this could have been, you know, midnight, 1, 2 in the morning.
Try again.
Try one more time.
Try again.
You gotta let him know you're serious.
So he knows it's real.
Yeah, so he knows it's real.
Knowing that where, or what time they usually start the after-hours, and, you know, where they're at, where they were probably at in the pod when this came up, it was probably about midnight or 1 in the morning. Look at my... He's probably watching. Nah, I ain't answer. Damn.
What about the other guy? Did she say she had 2?
I have like 3 or 4 guys on this one.
But there was 2 that she said that wouldn't smash her. Or she had
Do you want me to call? Okay.
Call the other one, yeah. Try the other one. And then we'll go to Jordan.
The fact that the video still has
It's a long flight.
another now 6 minutes means that something
Oh,
happens.
the guy you're gonna call is gay? We're talking about...
Our best gay friend.
We'll try.
Hello. I was really just wondering why you and I were never a thing, and I'm so drunk, and I was wondering why we never were anything. No, I want to talk right now. So why? Yeah.
You don't know what to say.
Oh. Friend zone? Oh, okay.
Mm.
Alright. Just would you just have sex? Why not?
God, she fucked that up. She fumbled that.
Why can't we just fuck? Well, that's unfortunate. Alright, bye.
What were the instructions? I see. What were those instructions?
It's always the girl that fumbles it, bro. But either way, he still didn't pass the test. Like, the thing ultimately was still a fail. Because he did say, you know, yeah, like, we could date, but I'm just not in the right place to do that. Like, which is understandable. Because more than likely, he might be a type of guy that watches this type of content. Or, you know, is in that space where maybe he's like mid to late 20s and he's trying to like really get his shit together. So he's like, hey, listen, like, I'm not trying to date nobody, like, because I know that's how I kind of am. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, if I found the right girl, I would entertain it, but for the most part, like, you know, right now I'm just kind of doing my thing, and I have girls that like are reoccurring, you know, reoccurring relations, but, you know, nothing super serious, and at least on my end. And I think that's important as a guy when you recognize what part of your life you're in, to be able to like, okay, now this is a time that I could actually entertain having a girlfriend or girlfriends, or this is a time where I just need to be doing my thing. If I can hook up, cool, but, you know, just need to be doing my thing, focusing on me. So he might be in that kind of place, but just in general, the fact that he even entertained them possibly dating in the future and stuff like that means that he is attracted to her physically, and he has looked at her at some point, whether of course it's probably when they first started talking, like a potential girlfriend or something. And also knowing, I've seen other clips of this panel. I didn't watch the live, but I saw other clips of this panel, and she talked about how her body count was like around 30 or something, and she has OnlyFans. It's not like she's on there every day, but it still is technically active. Something else, but just in general, that she was like kind of promiscuous, and like she does hook up with guys here and there. So maybe that guy knows that. I'm not sure if this was before or after that conversation, like in the after hours show. So maybe it was like after this happened that they talked about that. But I remember seeing that clip, and maybe the guy knows that, and he's like, I'm not gonna wipe her up, because like, maybe he's like, nah, like. But at the same time, if he knew that, he wouldn't have entertained possibly dating her. So I don't know. Either way, he definitely failed, because if it was a hard set no, he would have just not. He would have just hung up when she started talking crazy, or he would have just been like, nah, I'm good, and then just But he was like actually talking to her, trying to understand where she's coming from, But him saying like, oh, we can't even fuck like that was kind of weird. But like that goes back to what I was saying before. I don't know if you remember the first part of the video, or like one of the first parts of the video, where I was saying guys that are in the friend zone or like are friends with chicks and might deep down like the girl or whatever, or even if they don't, just friends with chicks in general, is usually the type of guy that's not gonna be very, I hate using the term alpha, but very alpha about his relations with women. Like, he's not gonna sit there and look at it as, okay, like, this woman I need to treat sexually, or this is strictly this is my husband's wife, or whatever the case may be. Like, he probably actually is more liberal, progressive thinking, in the sense, oh yeah, men and women could be friends, and we can all hang out, and we can bring Susie and Laura and whoever. And whereas like, nah, red pill people are gonna be like, nah, like, if I hang with my boys, we're doing XYZ, everything's productive. If we're hanging out with chicks, it's because these are our chicks that we're smashing for the night, or we got in a big party, or trying to find chicks to smash, whatever. So I don't know, it's all different, but he technically failed in a roundabout way. I kind of went on a little rant there, but I think it was necessary.
Yeah, that's not the instructions.
She went like AWOL.
Bro, you should have bro.
Girls always do that though, and that's why I hate that before they used to just bring the phone and they would call, and I actually think it would usually go better that way. But now they actually like send the girls over to Icy, and that for like a few minutes they'll be out of the shot, like going over what to do, and then next when they get on the phone, they just do their own thing anyway. And it's because girls are emotional, so once they hear what the guy says, they go completely off script, and also because they don't want to accept it. They'd rather live in the lie of like, okay, now this guy likes me for me or whatever, when it's like, as soon as the guy might say something that makes them slightly uncomfortable, or slightly like, oh dang, does he look at me that way, they completely like lose all sight of what was going on.
He didn't want to validate the call because she said she was drunk.
Yeah, like
man.
He's smart, bro.
You gotta say you're drunk, but you're actually thinking about it seriously. Like you're serious about it. You kind of like,
Yeah, man.
No, but I only ever call them drunk crying when I'm serious about shit.
Bruh,
Cap.
she sabotaged it on
No,
purpose.
I'm
Yep.
telling
Because he
you.
even said you're with other guys, so like, yeah, see?
No,
Yeah.
no, but like on
Yeah.
some real shit, like I don't call them when I'm drunk unless I'm drunk and crying over some real shit. Like,
You're probably tired of that
I
shit.
have
That's why he didn't take you serious. Bro, that's why he didn't. Yeah, but that's why he didn't take. But hold on.
That shit,
But that's why. That's exactly why he didn't take you seriously.
notice he said not yet.
Yeah.
But
Nah, bro. Because he's been down this road before.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna smash this. He's like, she's gonna do some bullshit. Man, she knew what she was doing, man. All right, so you gotta give him the better instructions, man. Come on. All right.
good. I had to make it believable.
Follow the instructions.
Well, you don't know my friends.
I know. But you just admitted that you told that before, and then he didn't.
And they're not bringing up the fact of, as soon as she said that, he was like, do you want to call me back when you're sober? Which is a big tell, because what she's saying is probably true. She probably only does call them drunk when she's like in her feelings and shit. She probably doesn't call them like drunk and happy, just like, hey, what's up? She usually probably only calls them when she's drunk, if she's going through some shit or whatever. And he's like, okay, she's on her little tirade. Do you want to call me back when you're sober? They're not even talking about that, because I picked that up very early on. Like the way that he responded when she said she was drunk tells everything. And that's why he was just kind of playing standoffish the whole time, because he already saw, okay, she's drunk. She only calls me when she's drunk, fucked up, talking about some bullshit. So she might not even be serious. She might change her mind tomorrow. I'll play along for now, but I'll wait and see what's going on. And so,
No. I've never called him about having sex with him before, but
Well, you've
when I
called
call,
drunk.
yeah, when I call drunk, it's because it's some real shit that I'm calling
And
about.
they're probably annoyed by that at this point.
Absolutely 100% annoyed with me.
That's what.
But it sounds believable.
Yeah, no, it
Because if
sounded
she usually
valid,
does it,
yeah.
and she did
Exactly.
it again.
That's
Bro.
what is
I'm
so
a
gay.
creature of habit.
Bro,
Gotta-
that's why he was like,
But
fuck
you're
this
still
shit.
thinking about it.
yeah.
So my
He
girl
was dismissive,
bad.
man. He was dismissive, that's why. Anyway, alright, Germany time?
they were trying to think of what to say. They couldn't think of something.
Foreign ringtone.
That's the WhatsApp.
I thought he picked up.
This conversation probably gonna be in German. Niggas gonna check out this.
But I won't pick up.
But I have a game.
In America? Chris, what do you think?
I don't think that's.
Nah?
Nah, that nigga
Oh,
knows.
he's one of that. It's fine. It's fine.
He like it in the booty.
Nah, man,
Alright,
stop these
that's
niggas,
fine.
man.
Yeah, nah, we won't do it. Alright. So, you
You
messed
failed,
up.
man.
You failed,
Yeah.
man.
That nigga wanna smash,
Yeah,
bro.
you wanna fuck, man.
They both failed.
It's because she called drunk,
Yeah.
and to him, he's like, oh my god, not again, bro. He just want to get
No,
off the
but
phone.
I've never called about having sex.
But that's not the point.
Yeah,
No,
why
but you gotta
call
say it in a believable way. Like,
Yeah,
yo, listen, I've
bro.
been thinking for a long.
It's not the see again. This is where like their brains can't freaking look at something as a whole piece of the pie. Like they have to look at the pie as a whole. They look at a piece. It's like I never called him about having sex. Well, yes, but they're not saying that. What they're saying is since you've called him before when you were drunk, just spilling feelings about whatever. It could be about a current man. It could be about an ex. It could be about a freaking your dog. Like it could be about like your day, whatever the case may be. Because you've called him drunk before, just bullshitting about stuff and crying, complaining about shit. He's now associating that to what you're talking about now. So even though this is now about you guys being together, hooking up, whatever, he's now like, okay, she's still just on some bullshit because she only calls me drunk, crying about bullshit. So she's probably not in her right mind. So he's dismissing it because of that. Whereas if you didn't do that, or if you would have said, oh, I'm a little tipsy, so like it got me to thinking, but like I'm good though, and I really was just thinking, you know what I'm saying? That's why Fresh was like, you got to make it believable, or you shouldn't even brought up the drinking thing at all. But she knew subconsciously if she did that it would be able to give her that out and give him that out. So all communication is or 90% of communication is nonverbal, and like you could tell the whole way that she was talking and like her body language while she was on the phone with him. She was like kind of playing it like a game instead of actually being sincere about the, you know, the test or like the act or whatever. I'm drawing a brain fart to the actual word I'm trying to use, but to what they were trying to do to, you know, prove the point. She was being very insincere and like kind of manipulating it to like be able to get that out instead of playing into it and allowing the true conversation to be had.
Time.
Yeah,
I'm not
bro.
gonna lie, you're
Yeah.
an awesome guy.
Like, hey, what are you
Well, we
doing?
never
Always, always do this shit, man.
If I
Say,
told
fuck
him
up the
that he was
instructions.
an awesome guy, he would have been like, yeah.
And he didn't seem like pressed to fuck her. To be
No.
honest.
Yeah, because he already
No.
Because he's annoyed.
He's
Because
annoyed.
he don't.
because he already accepted that once she called and said, "Hey, why were we never anything?" I'm like really drunk. Once she said that and he was like, "Oh, you want to call me back sober?" and she said no. At that point, he was just like, "I don't really care about the rest of the conversation." Whereas if she wouldn't have said that and they would have kept on going, everything would have been cool. Or if she would have said that, but like not made it as like played into it and been like, like having that like Fresh like that said that voice and that kind of undertone like she was crying and being depressed and shit. Like it's all a game, bro. And that's like we can see it as men, but Miss German over there can't see it because she's seeing it from the girl side.
I want
He's
to,
annoyed by her.
because he just friends.
No.
Just friends.
If he
Nah.
wasn't annoyed, would it seem more
Yes,
valid?
yes. Because
Yes.
if you call them sober and you said, hey, why don't we ever become a thing or whatever, and you're dead sober and you're serious about it, he'll probably give you a serious answer. But he was already, you could tell, he was like, bro,
Yeah.
she called me drunk. What the fuck,
That
man?
was your idea to call to make the drunk scene
No,
scenario.
no, we didn't. Icy did not tell her to do that. That's not
Yes,
our.
she did. She said act drunk, right?
No.
Don't she?
But hold on.
No, man.
Even so, you know your friends, so you call them drunk all the time. It's not gonna work.
No, but not all the time. They don't always answer.
Where's Icy at?
The only time that I call them drunk is when it's some serious shit. Is what
I
I
want to get the
saying.
instructions that Icy gave them. 'Cause I don't know what she's talking about, so we'll see. Okay. She's in the back somewhere.
All right. Well, there you have it. Like I said, it was gonna be a 45-minute video. We didn't get quite there. We're at almost 41. So appreciate everybody. If you stayed all the way through, if you caught bits and pieces, if you're watching the clip on TikTok, whatever. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below, guys. You think men and women can be friends, or in this situation best friends? If so, why? If not, why? Do you have any girls that are strictly platonic friends or best friends? And what situations may you have gone through and stuff like that. And yeah, make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. The likes really help with the engagement. I also found out it's more of the watch time associated with the likes. So, if you like the video, cool. I greatly appreciate it. But also, watching the video is greatly appreciated too. And, make sure to subscribe. My goal is for 2024 to be really big on the channel. And, I had a little hiatus over the last few months as far as only putting out a couple videos a month. But after revamping the channel again, but this year we're going to hit it heavy. The holidays are over. We're getting back into the groove of things now. And I think this year's going to be really big for the channel, my personal business, as well as my other things that I have going on associated with the business, but kind of not, but just in my personal life. And yeah, hopefully everything comes to fruition. So like I said, subscribe, comment down below. Share it with your friends, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Be Green Flex. Out.